Hi, a very good evening to everyone. My name is Divya, daughter of Supaya. My ID number is 2450014 from program Bachelor in Law Enforcement. My class is 7A1. Today, my group and I will be presenting about yellow journalism in MH370 issue. Let's begin by understanding what media sensationalism means. It refers to the use of emotional, dramatic, or exaggerated news content to grab public attention. Often, the focus is not on delivering facts but on making the audience feel shocked, afraid, or curious. Why it matters today? In today's fast-paced media world, news outlets and social media users are constantly racing to be the first to break a story. Unfortunately, this often comes at the cost of truth and accuracy. Sensational headlines go viral quickly, but they can spread misinformation and even cause public panic. That's why the issue is very important and needs to be discussed, especially during a tragedy like MH370. Context of study in MH370 issue. We chose the MH370 tragedy as our case study. As many of you know, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared in 2014 and until today, it remains one of the biggest aviation mysteries. Because the lack of information, the media filled in the gaps with conspiracy theories and emotional headlines. In this case, we analyze two types of media, which is first is newspaper article from the Sun and second a viral Facebook post. Both showed strong signs of media sensationalism. Objectives of the study. Our main objectives are to examine how sensationalism was used in both sources to identify techniques like dramatic language and misleading headlines, to compare how newspapers and social media handle the same issue, and finally, to evaluate how this affects public perception and emotions. Next, moving on to the main body. Summary of the Sun article. The first source is a tabloid article from the Sun titled Bombshell Claims Reveal MH370 Passengers May Have Suffocated in a Well-Planned Murder-Suicide. This article suggests that the pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah, intentionally killed the passengers by depressurizing the cabin. It's based on an expert opinions, but the way it's presented makes it sound like a confirmed fact even though official investigations have not proven this theory. Next is our Facebook post, summary of Facebook post. Our second source is a viral Facebook post from 2014. It falsely claimed that MH370 had been found in a jungle and that all passengers were still alive. The post included a fake photo and a link to a shocking video, but in reality it was a scam site designed to steal personal data. This post was widely shared because it gave people false hope at every emotional time. Next is sensationalism techniques. The Sun article we found several signs of sensationalism. Firstly, the use of strong emotional words like suffocated and murder-suicide creates fear and drama. Secondly, the headline is misleading. It promises a shocking revelation, but the content is just a recycled theory. Finally, the article only focuses on one point of view, making it biased and one-sided. Sensationalism techniques in Facebook post uses emotional language but in a different way. Instead of fear, it plays on hope, saying that the passengers were still alive. It uses clickbait tactics like shocking video to lure people in. There are no facts, no sources, and the post was clearly made to go viral, not to inform. Comparison between the two sources. When comparing both, we see the Sun uses sensationalism in a more formal way through expert opinions and a dramatic wording. Meanwhile, the Facebook post is purely fake and emotional with no evidence at all. The newspaper aims to attract readers and get more views, more clicks, while the Facebook post is trying to mislead people and scam them. Both are dangerous, but they use different methods to spread sensational content. Thank you.
Good morning, Miss. My name is Engineer Sankar from BLE 7A1. Today I will be talking about the issues and challenges of media sensationalism, focusing on how it affects public perception and society. For this, I will be referring to two specific examples. A headline from the Sun UK that read MH370 passenger suffocated in murder suicide, claim expert, and a fake Facebook post that falsely claimed the pilot had satanic motive. These two examples show how powerful and damaging sensational media can be. To begin with, media sensationalism can deeply influence how people see and understand a situation. When media headlines use emotional or shocking words, they create a strong impact, even the actual facts are unclear or unconfirmed. In the case of the Sun UK headline, although it's quoted an expert's opinion, the way the story was written made it seem like confirmed truth. This creates confusion in the public where opinion is presented like fact. On the other hand, the viral Facebook post was completely fake, yet it spread fast because it was dramatic, emotional, and fed into people's fears. This kind of story shape public opinion in dangerous way, where people start believing what is emotional rather than what is factual. Now let's look at the wider impact on society. Sensationalism can cause distrust in journalism. When people notice that even established new agencies are publish shocking headlines with title evidence, they start to lose faith in all media. Over time, they might turn into unreliable source or worse, belief in conspiracy theories. This weakens the role of real journalism in society. Sensational stories also lead to social divisions. For example, when the MH370 pilot was blamed without solid proof, it sparked online debates, argument, and even hate speech, especially when the fake Facebook post connected the incident to satanic motive. These kind of posts not only attack individuals but also create religious or cultural tension among the public. Social media becomes a space of conflict, not conversation. From a political point of view, media sensationalism can be manipulated. Governments or politic groups can use emotional headlines to shift public anger, change the narrative, or distract people from real issues. For example, the MH370 conspiracy theories were sometimes used to criticize government efforts unfairly, even when investigations were still ongoing. This caused people to lose trust in official institutions. Another major concern in the spread of culture and religious stereotypes, labeling a Malaysian Muslim pilot as having satanic motive without any evidence fits into Islamophobic and discriminatory ideas. When people are exposed to this kind of exaggerated and emotionally charged claim, it can damage the image of an entire community or culture. Once these stereotypes are formed, they are hard to correct. Finally, one of the biggest challenges we face today is the difficult to separating real news or fake news or exaggerated contents. We live in a world full of media, from newspaper and TV to TikTok and Facebook. With so much information available, it's become hard for the average person to tell what is true. Sensational content, even it's false, tend to go viral because it plays people's emotions. In the case of MH370, the real investigation was still ongoing, but the public was more interested in dramatic theories rather than waiting for the verified facts. Social media platforms also make this problem worse by promoting content that is popular, not necessarily accurate. In this kind of media environment, truth struggles to compete with spectacle. People are left confused, anxious, and vulnerable to manipulation. That is why it's so important to understand the deep issues and challenges that sensationalism bring to our society.
Hi everyone, I'm Preeta from class 7A1. My student ID is 2450013BLE. Today I will be presenting the recommendations and suggestions part of our report, which is focuses on how to tackle the dangers of media sensation and scams, particularly through the case of MH370 Facebook post. Overview of the problem. As you may have seen in the Facebook link we shared earlier, this post used the emotional strategy of MH370 to gain attention. It claimed to share updates and petitions, but in reality, it was being used as a scam to collect people's personal details. This is how a clear example of how social media sensationalism is misuse of emotion can lead to online fraud and harm to the public. Educational strategies. So, what we can do first, education is the key. Like media literacy should be taught in school and universities to helping pupils understanding how to identify fake news, biased content, and scam attempts. Even outside of school, public awareness campaigns can teach people how to spot exaggerate headlines and untrustworthy links. By doing this, we help to create a society that is more alert and critical when engaging with online content. Moving to the individual strategy, secondly, we have individuals of also have a big role. We must learn to pause and verify before clicking or sharing anything, especially when it's about sensitive topics like MH370. Always check if the source is official. Look out for the dramatic language, suspicious links, or anything sounds too shocking to be true. And when in doubt, use checking tools or report to the post. Institutional and government roles. Next, institutions and governments need to step up. Social media companies should have better systems to detect and take down scam content. Posts like the one using MH370 should be automatically flagged. Meanwhile, our government should introduce and enforce stricter cybercrime laws and work together with the tech companies to track down and punish online scammers. Technology can also help us to fight back. For example, AI systems can be used to detect scam patterns, exaggerated tones, and clickbait headlines. Social media platforms can add real-time fact check labels on trending or sensitive posts. And cyber security apps can help block scam links before users even click on them. To conclude, the MH370 Facebook post reminds us how easily emotion and tragedy can be misused to manipulate people online. But with the right education, individual awareness, institutional responsibility, and technology, we can reduce the impact of the social media sensationalism and protect to the public from online scammers. Thank you.